1998. This shit's fire.
It's the Jobbers Tears podcast.
Mr. Blacc coming at you once again with a lovely interview with
Wrestling's 5-tool player, Anthony Bowens.
So those who may not know you, just give them a little backstory of yourself.
Ooh, where do I begin? Well, I've been around on the indie scene for the last 6 years. I've performed up and down the East Coast, in England and Canada, for NXT, for Impact, for Global Force Wrestling. Outside the ring, I'm an actor and a YouTuber. I've starred in 4 national commercials. I've been on the cover of Attitude Magazine. My boyfriend and I have a successful YouTube channel, which is, I think, approaching 60,000 subscribers. So I do a little bit of everything, and that is why I'm the 5-tool player.
Plug in YouTube. Like, what?
Yeah. You can find it on YouTube. It's Michael and Anthony. That's as simple as it is. And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Bowens_official.
Okay, so what got you into wrestling?
My dad was a wrestling fan, and from what I understand, my first little wrestling experience was, I guess, Hogan was on the TV. And I think I was like 3 years old at the time, and he said he felt this little fist go across his face. And it was apparently Hogan was hulking up. Apparently I was a fan of that. But a couple years later, or I should say 1997, I was sitting around watching TV, and it was the vignettes for Starrcade 97 with Sting and Hogan. And I saw Sting, and I was like, whoa, this dude's cool. And I didn't end up getting the pay-per-view, but my dad bought me the replay, and I was hooked.
Oh, man, that's a great little story. Yeah. So other than what was the moment you realized that I see myself doing this for the rest of my life?
I never knew that I could do it when I was younger, because I was very frail. I was small. I played baseball for most of my life through college, and then once I stopped playing, there was this time period of maybe like the 5-6 hours a day that I usually would be spending on the field. It was like vacant. So I was losing my mind. I couldn't really figure out what I could do to fill it. And my friends and I made this little wrestling video on YouTube the night before a hurricane, and it like caught on locally. So we had like a little, I don't want to call it like a backyard thing, but it was like a comedy, almost like, you ever see the Kenny Omega videos when they were in Japan, like they wrestle in the house out through the backyard into like a lake?
Yes.
Very similar to that, but more like comedic based. And then the feedback I'd get from that was, you know, Bowens, you look like you've been doing this for a while, even though it's just like silly stuff at home. You know, you ever think about doing it? And I went, oh, you know, I love this. It was something that I dreamed of doing as a kid, but didn't know how. And that was the kind of first real thought that popped into my head that maybe I should pursue it.
Okay. So you are openly bisexual.
Correct.
So how was that?
Although I'm starting to hate labels now, because everybody labels me as something different. Like, oh, you're gay, or you're bi, or you're pan, or you're this. It gets to the point like, you know what? I'm just me.
Yeah.
I'm Anthony.
Yeah, you're Anthony, and so happily you're just bisexual.
Correct.
You're Anthony first and everything else second.
Absolutely.
So I know in the wrestling business, you know, everybody is such a macho-sexual area. I mean, what am I looking for? Macho-sexual.
It's a very masculine environment.
Yes. And was it easy for you to come out? And how did your peers treat you after knowing that news?
Well, that was my biggest fear, because I didn't know how people would react to me coming out, or I didn't know how my peers would, as far as what I need to protect myself in the ring against these people who may not support that kind of thing, who are very ignorant to those kinds of situations. So that was the scary part, and I think had I not been wrestling, I probably would have done it sooner. But for career purposes, I was frightened. But after I did come out, it was great. Honestly, my connections with the fans, my connections with my coworkers, with the other wrestlers, kind of it's strengthened because I'm giving them myself as opposed to a very pulled back, reserved version of me, if that makes sense.
I think it does make sense. So you're trying to say that because you came out, you was able to be more fully yourself.
Yeah, it broke all the walls down, so I can kind of I don't have to hide things anymore. I could just be free. I can joke about it. I can do pretty much. I can be myself.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I always notice is just like when Darren Young came out, I was like, okay, what's the big deal? I was like, you're making a big deal, but Goldust was playing a gay character on television. Rico was playing a metrosexual character on television. Orlando Jordan was in TNA playing bisexual, is just over the top. But nobody had a problem with that. But when someone openly comes out and says, I'm gay and bisexual, this is my lifestyle I choose, people seem to make a big deal out of it and say, oh, I'm uncomfortable. But you wasn't uncomfortable when they was joking around with it. Yeah. So how you felt about that? Like, did you have some times where you felt that, okay, are they just promoting me because I'm bisexual? Are they promoting me because I'm a good wrestler?
I don't think I've ever gotten that feeling before, but people themselves are very, I shouldn't say all people, there's certain select people who are very ignorant to everything, and my coming out was, one, to help people who are struggling with themselves, and also to kind of change those different stereotypes that we have seen in the past, because all those characters were kind of overly flamboyant, but there's no problem with that. If that's you, be you. Right. But I want to show that there are different shapes and sizes to the LGBT community. It's not always just this stereotype that people paint it to be. You could be a masculine person. You can be a shy person. You can be a feminine person. There's so many, skinny, muscular.
Right.
That's the purpose of it all.
I mean, the one thing I admire about your story is that, to me, it gives me courage to be myself 24/7. And the fact that you came out on a natural stage and didn't let no one tell you anything, and you allowed to yourself be yourself as a wrestler, and how you dress, your moveset, you'll never know that you're bisexual or everything. And that, to me, speaks volume. Like you said, too many people want to be like, all right, he's this way, so you got like this way. And you just destroy that mold completely. And that's why I'm a big fan of yours. I'm looking at this guy like, yo, even though that he came out this way, I could relate to that. I could relate to the fact that struggling and finding yourself. Because you know how it is as a young man. Like, you get fit in the box at such a young age. And when you try to break out that box, people want to remind you who you were.
Correct.
And, yo, you do your thing. I'm proud of you.
I appreciate that.
And people like you is the reason why I watch wrestling. Because it's always the character behind it. You can play one person on screen, be the biggest bad guy. It's all about what you do with your exposure to let people know.
Absolutely.
So, bro, you're doing a great job, man. Hope to see you in WWE, man. So, I just do like an off-the-wall question.
Go ahead.
Okay, so your gear, shades of the Green Ranger, was that your favorite?
My favorite actually was the Red Ranger.
Which one? Which one?
Jason.
He's a bad man.
It's gotta be Jason.
He's a bad man. He's a bad man.
I like Rocky, but it's Jason.
Rocky was alright, but Rocky didn't do it for me. But my favorite was the Green Ranger because he fought everybody with a flute that was this small, beat up everybody. I was watching recently. I'm looking like he really beat up everybody with a dagger, and he was so powerful. He gave out his shield to everybody, and he was still winning.
Well, that's the reason why I went with the whole Green Ranger thing. The gimmick itself was supposed to be something a lot bigger in the first place, but I didn't put the time and the effort in to make it more than just, here comes a guy who's dressing like a Power Ranger. And that's what it became. And it's a good thing that I'm really good in the ring, because if I came out there and I was a flop, that would have went very quickly.
Real fast.
But I'm leaving that behind now, and I've now become wrestling's 5-tool player because I want to incorporate more of the inside, the stuff I do inside the ring, as well as outside the ring, and to give more character depth for people to latch their teeth into, whether I be a heel, whether I be a babyface. And the Power Ranger thing it was very hard to do that. But I had a great time. It lasted for 2 years. It was fun. I could see the smiles on people's faces when I came out. They saw the shield and all that. Yeah, so it was a very fun time.
I marked out.
But it's time to move on. And the 5-tool player's here.
All right. Anthony, thanks for your time.
No, thank you for having me, brother.
Pleasure, man. Thank you. You have it here. The 5 tool Anthony. Check you guys out.